Welcome back to What Arty Noobs with General Disturbance. I've got another double header for you, this one with the Fifi, the 105 leFH18B2, otherwise known as a leFH or a leaf blower. We call it Fifi La Pew Pew. This one is from ProvoBob, and he's an Australian, so normally he has a kangaroo on the side of his vehicle, but that's one of Rusty's skins, or rather Jazz's skins, and that's why you can't see the kangaroo. Game started. North spawn of cliff. He's moving off into the bushes in the western pass area. It's actually quite a good firing position over here, and although it is prone to being counter-batteried because you're a very well known position, if you choose anything other than the two normal bushes, you might be able to get away with it. I've certainly got away with it on many occasions just by going to this bush or ones further up, because you're a little more difficult to see for the enemy arty that are counter-batterying you. Okay, he's in position. He's now looking for an enemy target. And I think the first thing he's going to do is try and counter-battery the enemy. He's looking at the stone walls. They haven't been knocked down, so there's a possibility there's an arty in that bush there. So he fires around in just to see. Well, it hits the ground, doesn't make any big bang. There's only one arty on the enemy team. He is also a Fifi, so there's a good chance that he might be somebody who's not familiar with arty, because remember, the Fifi drivers, well, they buy a premium arty. They really don't know how to play it. They don't go to the conventional positions, or they're very sneaky and very good player, in which case they found a new place to hide. Good shot on the BT7. Now it's a tier 5 game with tier 4 tanks in it, which is going to make it difficult for ProvoBob to get an ace tanker, but I think he'll give it a go. It's a reduced numbers game. There's only 13 on each side, and there are bots, and that's why the names are up, so you can check which one's a bot and which ones are not. That Valentine 2, that's a bot. Unfortunately, he's moved away. The Excelsior appears to be a live player. I think he might be a bot. Need to check that. Put my glasses on. Yes, he is a bot, that Excelsior. Rounds out. Long flight time for the shell. Hits the engine deck. Good hit. 381. That looks like it was a low roll penetrating shot. Okay, he's going for the Valentine again, which again is a bot. No, lands nearby but not on target. That DW2, that is a bot as well. A bot with a mission. Rather odd that some of them change course as they're going along. You'd think they'd just drive in a straight line if it was a bot program. Fires the M18-1, and that's another bot. I picked the ones which are actually stationary. The Excelsior at this moment is stationary. Oh, another engine deck and another penetration shot. No, missed on that one. Wasn't fully dialed in, plus the Excelsior was moving. I should remind you, if I can, that the alpha damage on these shells is 410 alpha, and I haven't maximised my screen, that's better. 410 alpha, and it penetrates through 53mm of armour. So you should be able to penetrate that M8A1, and it's got a burst radius of just under 2 meters. Somebody actually does remind me on a regular basis in the comments that I forget to maximise the screen on some occasions, and that's why you might not be able to see the ammo count. Going for the Excelsior. No, didn't fire. That's a direct hit. Oh, and he killed the T-34. Okay, the DW2 made it down to the western pass, but it's just hiding behind the rocks because he's being fired on, and so he's just hiding there. Now, if I bring up the full name list, we can see the M10 RBFM is a live player, a real player, but the DW2 is a bot. He just got a hit on him there. Okay, the only other we can see is this Excelsior. He's a bot. Now he's at virtually maximum range, that's why we've got a flattened reticule. He fires around in, but the Excelsior pulls out of range by just pulling back a little bit. Oh, the Excelsior just got killed by our Cavalier. Okay, that Valentine 2's the bot. Lines him up, rounds out. No, just on one side. Try it again. I think that's the Wargaming random number generator giving us a spurious shot, firing the shell at another spot instead of ours. Yep, you see these shells, they're fully dialed in, and yet they're just not hitting the target. And we're lucky because the Valentine pulled back into the shot there. Otherwise that would have been a miss. Fires again. And just misses again. I reckon you should ask for your money back on this Fifi. It's not shooting straight. Ah, that's better. And he's actually potentially got the high caliber now. So he's earned 20% of the hit points. One more to kill. Yes. Okay, there's 6 enemies left. So that's half the enemies, more than half the enemies have been killed. That is a bot, that M5 Stuart. Some of our teammates have actually found him, and they're bots actually as well. Going for the M5. Side onto us. Yes, easy kill that one. If the tank stays still long enough to shoot, you should be able to get an accurate shot. Actually, he's just managed to pick up a Naden's. When he killed the M5A Stuart, he killed all the light tanks in the battle, at least 3, so that's good news. Naden's medals are, well, they're not exactly difficult to get, but they are fairly rare still, because you do have to kill all the light tanks on the enemy team. Okay, we've got a Hetzer coming in. That is a real player. Oh, he saw that shot and he dived to one side. He probably realises the M10 is also a live player, but he manages to derp the M10. But he got tracked by his shot and taken out by the Keyhole. So there is now only 3 enemies left. 1 Arty, a VK3001H and an M8A1. And the VK3001H is a good player, and the bot is the M8A1. Now the leFH on the enemy team has been found, and he's a Kiwi. In fact, his name is Kiwi Player. Rounds out. This is an Australian killing a New Zealander. They don't really feel that way about each other. No. Rounds out. Is that online? I don't think it was. No, it fell to one side. Oh, and the kill shot goes to the Keyhole. In fact, actually, ProvoBob's been using the Keyhole quite a lot himself recently, as you saw. But he's not going to get counter-batteried now because the last enemy Arty, or the only enemy Arty, has been killed. So now he can take out this VK3001H, who's up in the sniper's nest. And he just killed our Cavalier. And he just killed our M8A1 as well. But look, ProvoBob just got a penetrating shot on him. 442. That was going to be the killing shot. In fact, the shell fell to one side. It didn't go where aimed. And the game is over. So that's the first of the replays. Let's have a look at the second one, and then we'll get the results. The second replay on this game is on Steps, North Spawn. And it's a full numbers game. Full 15 either side, but there are still bots in the game. Yes, the Australian server has to put bots in. If they don't, then there wouldn't be enough players for the game. So I think that's kind of why Wargaming puts them in, simply because if they didn't, they really wouldn't be able to sell to the Australians and the Kiwis, because they simply wouldn't be able to get enough numbers together at certain times of the day. And so that's why you end up with bots. Same is true on the South American server as well, which of course a lot of Americans actually go onto, and they play from there. Okay, well, he's found a firing spot, but nobody in sight yet to kill. Oh, okay, he's got someone. And it's an M8A1. And that's a real player dialing in. He's ready to go. Rounds out. Direct hit, wipes him out. First kill of the game. Excellent shot. Fully dialed in. You can see it is very, very good. That one went to one side. Rounds out. He's got just over 7 seconds reload time on this Fifi, so he must have had all the bells and whistles. He's using premium consumables, a rammer, must be a gun lane drive, BIA crew, and that's why he's getting such good. Oh, that was a direct hit on the Type 95. Now that is a bot, the M5 Stuart. If he stays where he is, oh, unfortunately the shell shot right over the top of him, landed a long way behind him. But he's now gone down into that dip, and he's got a perfect shot, and he gets a perfect hit as well. 109. Not a kill shot, but it's still very, very good. He's fully dialed in, fires another round in, gets another direct hit. I think only one more shot that guy will take before he dies. If he's still there. Yes, exactly. He's out. That Cruiser 4, that's a bot. The Valentine 2's a bot. So is the Type 95. Now, as I said before, many of the other games, bots sometimes are very unpredictable and very difficult to kill. They don't behave as they should, but sometimes they just sit there like rabbit in the headlights, and you of course just take them out. Talking about rabbits, by the way, I forgot to mention what actually happened after my story about my father going hunting out in the bush in Australia. And they parked all the vehicles in a circle, and the rabbits came and sat inside the circle because they left the headlights on, and it was at night, and they started munching away on the grass, and then all the people came in, and the rabbits panicked and just jumped into their arms trying to escape. But I forgot to mention another funny story with the rabbits. My sister and I went on holiday with my parents down to Devon, and at the restaurant and bed and breakfast we were staying at, actually they used to get rabbits, or serve rabbit, and I was actually working in the kitchen with them. I was actually, you know, I decided as part of my holiday I was going to help them out, and so I went into the kitchen to help them out, and of course they had some rabbits for that evening's meal, and they said, did I want to skin the rabbits? And of course I was only a child at the time, but I thought, yeah, that sounds a great idea. I mean, I was under 10 years old, but I was a child. And so I skinned the rabbits and got the pelt off them. Of course, they were going to use the pelt for some other use later on. But the pelt was rather covered in blood and everything, obviously, because it was killed by a shotgun. In fact, they said the rabbit was a Cornish rabbit. That's why it was so stupid. It ran towards the guns rather than away from them. Well, anyway, this pelt was covered in blood, and here I had this head of a rabbit and the skin, and the restaurant owner said, do you want to do something to frighten your sister? And of course I did. So I thought, oh great, okay, what do I do? He said, well, put your little finger, your middle finger, up inside the rabbit's skull, and then wrap the rest of the pelt around your arm, and then when we'll open the server hatch and you pop your hand up, and then this bloody rabbit appears out of nowhere and starts talking to my sister. Oh my gum, she literally had a fit. She was so shocked and surprised, she screamed when she saw this bloody rabbit appear through the serving hatch at the in the diner, in the restaurant. It was just absolutely hilarious. But of course, you don't often see a rabbit covered in blood appear like a Muppet, a glove puppet. She ran screaming out of the room. But it was funny for me anyway, at least I thought it was. I found a new way of making glove puppets. Yes, when I was a little boy, I was cruel. It's funny, my sister just had her birthday just yesterday, and I sent her birthday greetings. Yeah, she still has nightmares about some of the pranks I pulled on her. Of course, this is the sister who I was once chasing out of the house, and she slammed the door behind her when I was chasing out. I reached out to try and stop the door from closing, and unfortunately it closed on my finger and it chopped the top of my finger off. Fortunately, my sister heard a louder scream from me as I suddenly had one of my fingers, or the top of one of my fingers, amputated. Yeah, I don't think she really appreciated it. But anyway, funny things that you do with your sisters. Rounds out in the Excelsior. He's still having difficulty, but he got 124 off that one. The daft thing is, actually, that because I was still very, very young, the tip of my finger did grow back again. Very, very weird. I've never understood exactly why that happened, but yes, it did grow back. So although I do have a tip of my finger now, it didn't amputate it altogether, but it just grew back. So I was very lucky. Okay, M4A1. Oh! Now that was pretty fatal. I don't know whether... oh, the turret's lying on the ground nearby. You can see it's just a short distance away. There's only one more enemy. It's the Marder 38T. Rounds out. And he moves back into the shot. And that's the end of the game. And that's 4 kills. And he was in platoon with the OI Experimental during this one. So let's have a look at the end of battle stats for the first game. And we'll see how we did on that one. Well, in the first game, we can see that it's a first-class tanker, a fighter badge, a bruiser. He managed to get out of the epic medals, a Gauze medal for doing 8 times the hit points of his own vehicle in damage, and he got a Naiden's medal as well. That's another epic medal for killing all the enemy light tanks in the game, at least 3. He got a high caliber for dealing the most damage in the game, and he also got a Confederate medal for hitting more of the enemy than anyone else on his team. His win rate from this one was 9,718, which is very good indeed, Super Unicum standard. A lot of them were bots, and they were performing as bots. They were being very predictable. You can see there was only 6 players, real players, on each side, and the Panzer IIIJ on the enemy team, on his own team rather, managed to get a Confederate as well. ProvoBob got the highest damage, 3,110, but the real player on the enemy team, their very good player in the VK3001H, almost got as much damage, 2,560 hit points of damage to him. When it came to kills though, it was that VK who got the highest number of kills, 5 to him, 4 kills to ProvoBob. And when it came to base XP, because ProvoBob's team won, he got 1,080. And the next high score after that was the M10 RBFM, another live player, 863. And then it's the VK3001H with 697. ProvoBob fired 37 rounds in this game, got 13 direct hits, 6 penetration, 13 splash. So he got a lot of penetrations. 3,110 hit points, all of it at more than 300 meters. Hit 10 of the enemy, killed 4 of them. He earned 87,411 credits from this game because he got the 50,000 credit bonus for completing his first mission, and he took away 3,888 XP. If we look at the second battle, we can see that that one was an ace tanker, despite the fact that I was rabbiting on about rabbits. Yes, no pun intended. He actually managed to get an ace. He got a fighter badge for getting at least 4 kills. He got 4 exactly. A bruiser medal for getting at least 5 critical hits. He got 19. He got a Gauze medal for doing more damage than 8 times the hit points of his own vehicle. And this time around he got a Brothers in Arms because he was in platoon with somebody else who got at least 3 kills. In fact, they both got 4. And he got the high caliber from this one as well. Not as high on the win rate, 8,868. But surprising that, because the previous one, it was a first class and a higher win rate. But on the next one, it was a lower win rate, but he got a ace tanker. Kind of odd that, isn't it? Yeah. If we look at the team score on this one, there were a lot more live players. 2,844 was the highest damage in the game for ProvoBob. The OI Experimental on his team also picked up a steel wall as well as his Brothers in Arms. When it came to kills, he shared the top spot with the OI. Both got 4 kills each, 3 kills for the Marder 38T and the M4A1 on the enemy team. And when it came to base XP, it's ProvoBob again. He's got the top in all 3 this one. 1,139 base experience points, the only player over 1,000. 810 goes to the OI Experimental. 742 goes to the Chinukai. On this one, he fired 33 shots, 15 direct hits, 4 penetrations. Didn't get as many penetrations on this one. 17 splash though. Damage of 2,844 hit points, all of it at more than 300 meters. He damaged 80 of the enemy, killed 4 and did 507 hit points of damage assistance. On this one, he earned 67,843 credits. Less credits because he did get a 30,000 credit mission completion, not a 50,000 one this time. He also picked up 7,519 experience points, slightly more than the previous one, so slightly better. So 2 really good games, one a first class, the other one an ace, and well, very interesting that one seems to have more damage than the other, and yet it's actually a first class, and this one is an ace tanker. I just can't work it out sometimes. So actually, no, it's the win 8, wasn't it? The one time he gets a better win 8 on one, and it's actually a lesser win 8 on the one that's an ace tanker. That's right. Yes, that's what I was trying to get at. So if you enjoyed those 2 replays, please give this video a like, do subscribe to our channel, and thanks for watching.